All right, we want to bring now our casters, Merc and Maven. Come hang out with us for just a minute. Hello, gentlemen. Are you excited to kick things off with us?
It's champs. Hell yeah, I'm excited. Let's get into it. We got through the group play. It is time for the double elimination bracket. I don't think it looks exactly how we thought it would, or even close to how we thought it would.
It never does.
That's very, very true. But for this first matchup, Envy units, for you and I mean, for the most part, I think 5 of our 8 matches we cast in group play covered kind of the Optic run, the 100 Thieves run. We didn't get to see a lot of the Envy and units run, but the main thing for Envy, as they talked around the desk, it's through the Game 5s. 3 Game 5 victories, something they struggle with throughout the entire Pro League. And Search and Destroy in general, they had like that 0-17 run. They had that crazy stretch. They're 4-2. They've improved a lot, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, they're 4-2. One of those losses was a full sale. I think you can sort of put that as a 5-1. Their S&D has improved. And if you look at that Evil Geniuses roster, last year when they won COD Champs, it was behind how strong their Search and Destroy was. When you talk about the core of this Envy lineup, you have world champions.
I think what's going to be tough for them, though, it's Pat kind of talked about on Hot Mic, like we never really got a very comfortable veto process or map pool. I still think they're working with a very small map pool with regards to their strengths. So we'll see if it's something that units can take advantage of it, but it looks like we're going to have a bit of a replay here before we hop into the map 1. We talked a bit about the Envy side. For units, I think when I looked at the stats, the one that really jumped off the page, I think was what Raiden had, like a 1-5 in Hardpoint. So he's in a form that we know he can hit. But do you even view them, if they get a win, is that even an upset, or is this kind of a 50-50
I think this is about as 50-50 as it gets, right? When you look at this bracket, it's sort of just like this match can go either way. And like Pac-Man said, there's 3 maps in this series where Envy haven't won in a very long time. Both the hard points, and when we talked about units and their strengths early on, it was their hard points. Could they fix their Search and Destroy? Could they get that teamwork on point? So if Units is able to, take this game 1 and then maybe potentially go up 2-0 in the series, you have to feel good for Units.
Just waiting to get back into the game. As the Envy players looking to get locked in. I think there are some people maybe surprised to see them in this spot, just considering how this year has been for them over the past couple of months, but they find themselves in this spot, a chance to make a run that maybe nobody saw them capable of doing. And we know when you talk about AX, when you talk about the brand that is Envy, typically it's deep runs at Champs. 4th last year. Joe, you were part of one of those big runs too.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously didn't win, but we got 2nd place.
That's still a great
run. It was a win to me. But yeah, it just feels like for the Envy name, there's a little bit of magic just behind what they can do at Champs. Obviously last year there was a lot of young players. They had Hook, they had Decimate, and we always felt like those 2 could always make the plays. But you look at this Hardpoint leaderboard, and yeah, 3 of those guys on phase right now. Rated is up there though at a 1.51. That's what you were talking about. He's been so strong in that Maddox role for this team.
It's actually wild when you think about Envy though. Because 2nd at Ghost, they won Black Ops 3, 2nd at IW.
2nd in Black Ops 2.
2nd Black Ops 2, 4th
last year.
4th last year. Like that's wild, man. That is absolutely insane stuff. Can they do it again? I mean, when we took a look at the bracket, it looks like it sort of sets up for that run.
I don't know. I think this is a tough match, and then I favor Singularity over Sicario over on Bravo right now. I think Singularity has a run to get to top 6. Like the Des was talking about, I was very impressed with their play. Again, a group of players that stuck together throughout the year, and it just feels like they know how to play correct Call of Duty.
Well, that's what's interesting about it, because we talked about it on Hot Mic. We had the debate back and forth on how many amateur teams would make it in, and for the other 2, it's a lot of well-known pros, but for that one, man, they are coming out of nowhere. But here we go, the first match of bracket play here at the CWL Championship for 2019 is Envy Units as we get into Gridlock.
Well, contest so far right off the start, but Weeman's able to find both of those kills. One of the interesting parts when you look at this Envy lineup is who's going to be running that 2nd SOG, and it's going to go to Silly. And Silly's had a great year, but it was on the Maddox. So him and Decimate, when you talk about the SOG duo, maybe not the strongest, but at certain times can really turn on up. We've seen Decimate take over games, but when you talk about really the talent on this squad, I think you have to talk about Gunless, the year that he's had, an 0-3 start in this map 1.
Well, we've literally joked, there's like LG Gunless and Envy Gunless, like he just hasn't had those stats. I know he started to improve with this event, but it wasn't pretty if you talk about what happened at Miami. But we'll stick with Gunless POV as they start to get this push towards the second hard point. It's a hot start in from units. 4 and 2 already out of rated. But with nearly 15 seconds off, they're just starting to really make this first push.
Yeah, you see the setup that Units has, and well, yeah, like you talked about, Units able to find those kills. That's gonna be 3rd in the row for Rated as he gets taken down. But they have complete streak control. Envy trying to force a bit of a closer spawn right now, but still no time. But Decimate's able to come on out and win a 1v1 against Cammy. Envy now in the hill.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, the first time they really get near the hard point, those 30 seconds into the hard point, just due to that great setup from Units. But the final 20 or so seconds will go to Envy. That'll force the rotation in from Units over towards Showers. We'll take a look at the minimap and the setup. Aches from Envy, starting to take the wrap towards the back. That number 9 on the minimap and Rated gonna be the one really watching that angle. Gonna get tagged up in backup as Aches starts to make his push forward. Can Envy get an earlier break this time around? There's the entry kill. 3 are gonna drop for Units. This might be a clean collapse unless Wee Man and Joe can do something special. Joe's gonna be the last man inside. Joe does do something special. He keeps them alive at his hard point. He can finesse as long as he can, but it's long enough for the reinforcements to get there, Joe.
Yeah, but there was one thing that changes. Gunless finds 3 in a row. Could he find number 4? No, not able to do so, but he's on a 6 spree. The thing was, is Envy forced a closer spawn, so even though Joe was doing the best that he could, his teammates were spawning out towards that broken building. The reinforcements are here now for Envy. We should have a lead change, and if you look at the left side of the minimap, that's where Envy wants to spawn, and they're doing exactly that. Assault already gonna spawn towards that tree side.
Gunless basically said, anything Joe can do, I can do better, as it's now 7 in a row. And he's fully streaked out. Envy looking to take the lead as Gunless keeps on rolling. 9 in a row for Gunless, and Decimate able to bail him out and keep him up as he looks for the double-digit run, and there it is. Gunless is frying in map 1. Lead now gonna tick over to Envy as Gunless is on an absolute tear.
And this is what we thought could be scary, right? When Gunless was added to this Envy roster, just gives them so much firepower when he's doing stuff like this. 12 in a row, has not slowed down. Used the lightning strike to ping, but I mean, he's close to re-wrapping these streaks. Pretty soon, he might think about using one.
It's the top window, up to the task there as well. The streak continues. Tempest already ready to go. Snapping onto Cammy as well, weakens him up for his teammate. Cammy, though, wins that one-on-one. Gunless still gonna hold top. No one is winning a gunfight against this man right now. 14 in a row. 80 off the re-wrap of streaks. Finally, it's Wee Man that shuts down the tear from Gunless. What a surge, and a big part of why Envy now has a 30-point advantage.
Yeah, now we're going into this top hard point. This is where those streaks are so powerful on a map like Gridlock. It's really the one where it has the most use. Is Envy maybe just trying to get these players out of their side of the map, but Rated does win a big one-on-one. That'll delay the streak a little bit, and I mean, this early 15 seconds has gone the way of Units. Hellstorm called in, able to connect with one. Silly locks down the hole. That's gonna be 4 down, make it 5. A nice break from Envy.
So a question for you, Joe. I think it's too early to maybe ponder whether or not Envy would be a threat to top teams at this point, but if Gunless gets back in MVP form and their search and destroy is really improved, are they a threat?
I think so, but you're still looking at other players. I think guys like Decimate and Silly to continue to play well. Again, when I look at this Units team, if they're not firing on all cylinders, I think Envy can beat them. But I'm not really worried about Units for Envy down the road. I'm looking at those teams like United, teams like Splice, where if guys like Aches and Assault aren't performing well, what happens to Envy in those respawns?
Speaking of Assault, he's 175 off streaks, trying to get ever closer as he puts damage in, finishes the gunfight top, now 1 kill or assist off from more streaks for Envy. This time through the last hardpoint, they had so much trouble getting early pressure due to the setup from Units. This time they're a lot earlier. Silly's gonna go ahead and slide in, takes his one-on-one versus Wee Man, and puts Envy in a solid spot here. Now to lock it down. Can you get the streaks onto Assault? He's getting the damage in, but can't finish the kills there. He's able to do it. Rateable drop, lightning, and RK7 shooting bombs, and there's both streaks for Assault.
Yeah, Joe, though, he relieved a lot of pressure for Units. He was able to find 2 kills, and I thought the opportunity was there to push on up, but Assault was able to find both of those kills. They regained control on the street, and you can already see all the white arrows starting to rotate over towards Tree. Another hill where you can use one of those streaks. Tac 5 gonna be in from Aches. And well, it's going to allow him to win that gunfight. They're going to try to set up the same pinch that they did last time when they were able to break this setup.
Hell yeah, as much as we talk about Gunless, like you said, Assault, I mean, who was the superstar at their champs run last year? It was Assault that really turned into a different player for that tournament win. Right now, 14-9, just right on the heels of Gunless, but it's War Machine in from Nolson. 1 kill through, some damage behind it, but the pick comes in from Silly as he's able to get in behind. Trophy keeps him up as well, and a big grab slam waiting in the wind. Not gonna need to use it yet. It's rated against 2 before he drops. Gunless now gonna call him the Tempest, hits 1 shot, but he will fall. Units stabilized for now.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Units was able to regain control of this hill, that was impressive. Silly did a great job staying alive. Silly, it connects, but only a hit marker, so no grab slam there. Now, I almost sort of question that decision. I want to know if Silly is just trying to get those kills to make this rotation a little bit easier for Envy, because there was only 15 seconds left. Now you have the Vision Pulse in from Rated. They want to get towards back broken. A couple of Envy players here, but Wee Man's going to find 2.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the thought process, right? You have some teammates push towards the back tree, get them to spawn all the way out if you can, but, well, he smoked the pillar. Unfortunately, not any of the players. A crucial hard point here with 25 points separating these squads. We've talked a lot about the streaks for Envy. We'll see if Wee Man can get them here, but for this particular break, I want to get over to Envy. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with Team Envy.
I saw my streaks.
Wait for each other, guys.
Got me top left. Still good 30, still good 30.
Ready, one shot mid. Try to go around left.
Nothing at top, nothing blue van.
We have streaks for new. Don't beat them streaks. Nothing peeking
Blue
me.
van. Wait, deep left, deep left here.
Deep dead. One got me blue car,
Blue truck, try out.
20 seconds, we still have streaks for new, guys.
Joe's weak blue car.
You pushing quick?
Yeah.
Make sure you pick up
Already knew guys.
Probably pick up full. Wait, behind.
Great. No one, hug him off here, Sam. Got nice shot. There's 2. Yo, 2 coming off of ult, probably going ice cream.
They could have
Don't
streaks.
see anything.
Yeah, play up right, Justin. Play back.
Yeah.
It's fine. I can streak back. Yeah, I'm hovering back right away.
I got one.
Hovering.
Got one up before I died.
Alright, 3 blue van, 1's going hole.
You go, JT, nice.
One.
Blue van, blue van again. I got a hit mark on him.
No, we should put on flag. No, ball behind us.
I'm ready to Justin.
One bullet behind us.
Top bridge,
Top bridge fast.
I shoot my 2. I shoot no on the hill. Also, challenge Justin. Weak. One shot, he's one shot. I'm blinding. I'm blinding.
Top bridge, jump down, JT, pushing.
I kill a kid.
Gotta shoot.
I'm streaking.
Top bridge.
Yo, the push up hole.
2 hole.
Me too. We need left control, guys.
2 hole fast.
During the listening, some great holds from Units that's going to put them up 20 points. Only 1 lightning strike remaining for Envy, and you've got the streaks on Units to match. What fell apart for Envy over the course of that listening?
I think they just lost a couple rotations towards that broken side. You hear the frustrations from Gunless a few times, just, hey, we have to wait for one another. And you have to talk about for Units, 3 very young players to be on this main stage. It's an extra set of pressure where the guys from Envy, they've been here before. They're world champions. If Units can get out to a hot start, win this first map, you sort of relieve some of that pressure. And I mean, they're in the lead. Cammy's -9, Wee Man's -5. You have guys like Rated, they're veterans stepping on up. He has matched Gunless this entire map.
I mean, that's the recipe for Hardpoint success for Rated and Joe teams sometimes. Get outslayed by 20, win the game by 5. Those have been what they've been able to pull out, but a chance for a lead change now to Envy. Aches dipping and diving, trying to stay alive in post, but he's gonna end up getting caught. Joe gets pushed out inside of Sushi as well as the pressure. Now gonna fall to Wee Man to make a play in the backside with the ICR, and him and Cammy so far able to combo. What wondrous movement there out of Wee Man to stay up, but finally will get cut down. 15 seconds remaining at semis. Now the rotation over towards Tree is a big one, and you saw on Joe, you have that big grab slam ready to go, and on this hard point, Silly came up empty. Can Joe hit a big one to close out the game for Units?
Yeah, I feel like it always comes down to this third tree hill time and time again. Silly will earn a grab slam later on. You still have the lightning strike on Gunless, but here we go for Joe.
He goes for it. It's just going to be one that drops. So he's able to snap back and take a second with him. The front line of Envy is going to be knocked out, but on the backside, Aches and Decimate able to take it. So the number is still going to be just about even inside and around the hard point. Cammy comes up with 2 big ones, but it's still going to be Envy fighting in the hard point. They cannot win it here. They'll be a couple points short with a perfect hold.
Well, I don't know if Units recognizes this. They can rotate if they want to, but they're going to go forward behind Nolson's War Machine. We'll see what he finds. Hits one with the flak. I think he just goes back to his gun because he saw the trophy, but Units cannot win here either.
And due to the position of Assault throughout most of that push, you kept the spawns in the back for Envy. You kept spawning Units out. Joe, probably the best chance to make a play. Can he come through on the flank and disrupt this early setup from Envy? 20 points needed for Envy. 15 needed for Units.
You have a lot on the line too for Envy. You're gonna have Gunless close to Tempest, Decimate close to War Machine. Lightning strike in from Gunless. Can you get Silly inside? He has the grab. He's gonna go high. Joe still doing such a good job being annoying, but Silly's able to find two.
There's the big grab slam. There's the big grab slam, not gonna make the play, but damage if it doesn't finish it. It's actually a three-piece from Cammy that might be the difference. Units now on the brink of taking this map one. Envy furiously trying to fight back in, but there's so little time to work with. They can test for a moment. Is it enough? Eggs and Decimate might make the play. They're still alive and inside. War Machine in, TAC 5 in. Envy can win it here.
I don't know if they can get there. They're so far away. You see the spawns. They have to go. You see one player up top. It's on to Joe once again.
And he can't get in. Envy with the map one thriller. 250, 249. They walk away with the win.
What a map to open up bracket play.
That was fun.
So back and forth. You had Gunless streaks. You had Rated time and time again going big for Units. I thought Joe made the play.
Well, I thought Joe, and I thought like once Cammy got those 3 kills, I don't know what Envy player was it.
Right
he had like
here.
2 players to half health. Yeah, it was Silly, who like didn't finish either, got caught between 2 gunfights. And when Cammy got 3, I was like, oh my God, it's done. But Decimate and Aches, I think it was, right, that make the play?
Yeah, I think it's Assault, Decimate. Yeah, Decimate that he goes through. Ice Cream goes on the big flank. And this was really that key play. Aches is there with them. Just look at the spawns, though, for Units. They have to run so far away. A couple of nicely timed specialists for Envy. You get the War Machine, you get the TAC 5. Everything timed right for Envy.
Yeah, it's like the 3 kills for Units were enough to get to 249. The 3 kills for Envy, enough to close out the game. Both teams, big plays down the stretch, but it's Envy that squeaks out the victory. I'm down for many more of those over the course of this weekend. Holy hell, what a way to kick it off.
And again, we talk about Units, right? 3 very young players, the pressure of this stage. I think if you go up 1-0, you're feeling good, right? Just play your game, but now being down 0-1, you have to try to win a search and destroy. That was where, you know, we saw throughout the Pro League, they struggled at times. Have they improved? But we know Envy has been great at S&D all week long.
Yeah, I think you nailed it with the word week, though.
Week,
yes,
yeah.
all week long they've been
two
good.
days,
Out
2 days.
the entire year, though, they've been horrific. So I think the big question is, do they carry that momentum in Search and Destroy into this particular series, or do we see the Envy of old? I don't know. Time will tell over this weekend, but we are going to hop over to Bravo, that Singularity versus Sicario. We'll check out what's going down with this match. It looks like Sicario, Tommy, Chino, and the boys able to take map 1 as we're into the map 2.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about sort of Envy in their bracket, but a similar guy in Tommy, right? Such a veteran at Champs, finds himself in, I would say, a winnable match. Yes, Singularity has been great all week long. But what happens when they get to that stage?
Well, you talked about it through our main series, like experience, how big it is. Like group play with the setting you have, kind of in a side room at Champs. Things change when you get to the main stage, inside of the stadium with fans looking over you. And yes, it's a tall task for Singularity. Can they live up to the hype of that group play performance? It's a different ball game now. You've been there. You know it as well as anybody. 20 seconds remaining in the round is Tommy and Chino. 2 of the vets on this lineup try to make the clutch, but the monsters from Singularity and Insight and Detain close it out. And what a treat it's been to watch them, man. Insight, Detain. I haven't seen every match, obviously, as we've been commentating, but the bits I've seen, they have made some plays this weekend.
And I think their strongest game mode from what we've watched is the Search and Destroy. Like, it just feels like every situation, they know exactly how they want to react on the map. You saw them playing their numbers so well. They're just staying alive, not giving Tommy an opportunity with that snipe to even out the round. But after going down 0-1 and losing that first map, it's a big first round win for Singularity.
Tommy aggressive with the sniper. Splits multiple players. Will he get caught? The help is there behind him, but he's going to have to hit a wild shot or at least just be a distraction from this block. It's just a little bit off. He's going to push behind it with the pistol, though. Tommy finally gets dropped. It's now going to be inside in a 1 versus 2. What a
got around.
fight, but that is it almost. The movement there to get the clutch, but Proto hits the shots. And Sicario tied up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, nice little snap there from Proto. But Lenny was the guy I think who found 2 kills inside this bomb site for Sicario, able to even out this game. Chino with the ICR just watching over his, yeah, right here I think is where Lenny found 2.
Insight detained with nice 3-and-1 starts for the Singularity end of things. Tommy's POV in the opening, and once again, aggressive, like lightweight class with this sniper, but it's gonna be a hit marker for him. Look good, but doesn't close out the kill. That one he does. Detain, sent around 4, can't flick. On to the next one though, we're left in a 3 versus 3. The mid-map push gets picked up. A trade comes through into a 2v2. I thought Chino had that one for sure, but gets beamed by Keza. Now on Lenny.
He's got a lot of time to work with, but again, this is really where Singularity in these small situations have been so good, using their teamwork. Well, he's in a spot 1 inside now, just buying time for Keza to come through, able to find it with that pistol.
He read it right, but he was in trouble. Mike, a little bit differently if Tommy doesn't get a hit marker on that first shot.
Yeah, it took off the pinky of somebody.
Three people up mid-map for Singularity. Massive presence there. Look how aggressive they're getting towards this side as well. Proto gonna dip away with his life for now. Bomb site control to Singularity as Tommy wraps back to get position with the sniper. But speaking of snipers, it's Insight that's able to pick 2. Chino, Proto both get caught as it's Insight hitting the shots at mid-map.
And then once again, after those picks, they just group on up, but it looks like Exceed has found an opening.
Did he just, I wasn't looking at the minimap when he hit him with this, rotating across from B, and he has picks them both head into Broken?
Mm-hmm. But I think Exceed and Lenny thought that they were going to rotate towards that B side because of the way he pushed through. They were all middle of the map, just go through holes. So now the danger is gone for Singularity. They can play their numbers well.
Two v 2. 25 seconds to work with. Exceed's already got 2 within this round. It comes down to a 1 versus 1. 20 seconds on the clock. Tommy, the vet, versus Insight, the youngster. Tommy gets the angle, but he's gonna get ripped with the RK7. What a round from Insight. The snipes, the 1v1 clutch.
Yeah.
So much for the stage making any sort of difference in this one.
Yeah, and I love the play call from Tommy. I mean, he thought that he was just gonna slide on through. We'll see it from Insight's point of view.
Did he get the 8? We got 4 at least. Did he get the 5th?
You can see Tommy, I think he was just expecting Insight to slide on out, but just holds the angle.
Well, he at least got 4 in that round. 2 with the snipe, 2 with the RK7. And we're just waiting on our alpha match and units and Envy to resume. For now, we'll be covering the Bravo match for you. Advantage to Sicario as they try to flood on forward. Leaves Bids by himself. They'll catch him. Sicario bring it around closer with a much needed win.
Nice team right there from Sicario, but I think it was Chino who was really that key player. Yeah, we'll watch him pick up 2 or 3 in this round with this ICR. First one just through the wall. That FMJ can just be so strong in this area. And I'll tell you what, Chino has been a lot of fun to watch this weekend. I mean, we're not seeing his snipe, but he has hit some ridiculous snipe shots throughout the week.
Oh, just a little bit that we watched him? Yeah, he was insane. Was it Arsenal that we were commentating? He was hitting those nutty shots? And sight though, 8 and 2. Another chance for a shot. He hits Tommy, and Tommy's the hell out of dodge as he gets tagged, but thankfully for him, able to stay alive. Now gonna re-peek. I thought he got the shot on the inside, but another hit marker. Is both snipers either side can't finish the kills. Now for Sicario, you're really waiting on a number 3 to make a play. It's Exceed going through the flank that's gonna have to find an opening through post. Is he able to win the gunfight? Not able to do it. It's Bids that's sitting in wait. Now how do you do this if you're Sicario?
It's just gonna be so tough, but you're gonna have to go maybe behind a snipe of Tommy. Lenny does find one, but the trade is there inside of Sushi. Tommy finds the SOG. Still not a lot of time to play with. They have to hunt these players down. He's able to get it. It's down to a 1-on-2 for Insight, and he's just prone. He's prone right now. He plays it perfectly. He pops on up, finds the first kill. The defuse is there. He ran out of ammo. He ran out of ammo. He got it. Did he hit it? He got it.
Oh my God, another round from Insight. What is he up to, 11 or 12 kills now? I thought that was so close to being defused that the reload was gonna cost him.
I thought he was gonna switch to the sniper.
I thought Tommy was dead to rights when he had to reload, but he hits the slide, gets the melee. Insight wins the huge one-on-one. I mean, that's the difference, right? Him versus Tommy, who comes out on top in that? Ten and 2 now for Insight. He gets 2 hit markers in that round, 2 kills in that round. It's all out aggression towards B for Sicario as they get site control.
Yeah, but this has been the one thing that Singularity's been great at is they almost give up bomb sites every time, and they'll play the 5 versus 5. They just try not to give numbers to their opponents. Because right now they're just waiting for Insight and Kleenex to go all the way around on this flank. 2 players pushing the flank. Not a lot of time worked, but there we go. Here comes the pinch. Tommy trying to do what he can, but he's all left alone, and that's what I was talking about. Their retake situations on defense have been flawless.
Well, was that Nameless that was talking on the desk? Like, maybe it was you and him having a back and forth. Like,
yep.
When you're an S&D team and you are totally fine letting somebody plant and playing the retake, you know you're a strong search team when you don't have a worry in the world about the bomb getting planted.
Nice teamwork there out of Singularity. Now 1 round away from tying this matchup 1-1.
Shocking. It's Insight yet again, as he has just been having his way with Sicario. 2 more kills there for him. The kid's a talent. 12 and 2 now. 175 off streaks. In Search and Destroy during group stage, he had a 1.59. That's pretty good, Joe.
That is very good. Tommy, though, aggressive with that snipe once again. He's just going to try to push on up. Here comes that pinch from Proto, but just sort of backs away. They still have the 4 versus 3, but they're going to go. Lenny and Exceed both going to find those kills.
Yeah, and I think maybe he stays there to look over his teammates. He's 75 off streaks, right? He backs up so he can make sure he gets the streaks. Maybe you throw away this round, but you give yourself a lightning. And I like the play considering you have a 3-round advantage, and you're in already a tough spot 4v3 there. More than likely, you're going to get dropped if you try to stick there with your teammates. Just back it up, get the streak. Use it to open up a site or retake.
Yeah, I mean, now you're on that defensive side. Again, I think you can stack the A site, right? Give up the plant towards B, ping it. If you see someone in there, you can rotate back to Broken, call that in. Heck, we've even seen some teams give up A, right, and just put it right over the top through tree. So we'll see what he decides to do. Or he might save it for offense if it comes down to it.
Tommy back to the lightweight class to try and get an opening snipe.
Yeah, they're gonna back you up. I think they might use it here.
Another hit marker for Tommy, but there's the lightning strike. Does it pick anything up? Lenny's gonna get dropped. Advantage over to Singularity. One more round needed to tie this up at 1-1. Tommy's been tagged up multiple times, but managing to stay up and finesse around. Chino brings it even at 4 versus 4. Proto gives him the edge, but only for a moment. Under 30 seconds on the clock now for Singularity to work the retake. It's gonna fall to another 1v1. Bids. Tommy. Just trying to play the time, and he gets out. That's all he had to do is Tommy clutches that one and keeps Sicario in the hunt.
I mean, Singularity plays that perfectly, right? You open it up with the lightning strike, you give yourself a first blood, but I think Tommy, I mean, we were on with him that entire round. His ability to finesse around this area, stay alive, and then forces the 1 versus 1.
He probably healed 10 times. It seemed like we were on with him. Unbelievable. Can Sicario get us to around 11? So much for Inside Streak, closing out the W. Tommy, no hit marker this time. Clutches the 1v1, gets the first blood in round 10. Now can they play behind it? It doesn't look like it. 2 kills through for Singularity. Suddenly they've got numbers. Tommy able to find a SOG, but it's 2v4 as their game 2 lives on the line. Tommy tried to bring it back. Can he win another gunfight? Not gonna be able to do so. All falls to Chino, and Chino drops. Singularity win another search and destroy, tie up the series 1-1, and that'll send us right back over to Alpha to Units versus Envy.
But a nice round win from Singularity. I thought behind that first blood what they were gonna do was really set up that pinch, and you saw it developing on the minimap, but it felt like the boys from Sicario got a little bit antsy. They didn't allow the flank to come through, and I think Singularity just takes advantage of that. So a nice map win. That's where they've been great all week long. Top the series 1-1.
Well, we got to catch some of that action. Sorry for the delay. I saw a lot of chatter going down on the main stage, so some sort of discussion, but map 1 is in the books. 250 to 249 win for Envy, and now we'll focus on the search and destroy between these two squads. We've touched on it so much, but the Envy search and destroy, what are we going to see? They've improved massively here for champs, but can they keep that rolling? Before we get to the search, though, I do want to take a look at the box score for that game 1 Hardpoint. Pretty even across the board.
About what you would expect in a 250 to 249. Yeah, typically what we see on Gridlock is, one team really dominating Main Street, another one dominating, Courtyard, but it was just so back and forth that entire game. And Envy just able to just get it.
And I got a word from League Ops. The reason we had that kind of 10 to 15 minute delay, there was some sort of incidental map error that happened, but it was determined it didn't affect the scoreline, didn't affect the end result, so it'll stay a win for Envy. So that's what the discussion was, that's what the delay was. So apologies for that, but we got to check out Singularity, Sicario for a little bit, and if you missed group play and didn't see it, that both of those teams coming from the amateur side of things were the real deal, you got to see a bit there. That inside kid is something else.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in the reaction from Units after the game, they're like trying to call somebody over, so.
Yeah, we knew something was going down, that's the first official word I've got, so that was the reason for the delay. Now the teams will have to focus up to the search. Gotta feel good if you're Bevels, I guess, the coach of Envy. You've taken flack all year with how bad their search is, but at the time they've got to start to click. It seems like they're doing it, and when you're getting game 1 performances out of Gunless, well, like the true Gunless, you feel good as an Envy fan.
14 in a row for him, but even behind that, Units stuck with it, rated with a big game like we saw in that box score. I think Cammy really came alive. It was just a little bit too late. I remember seeing him at some point like 14 and 23. I think he finished around 25 and 30. So a lot of engagements, but if he starts a little bit hotter, maybe that's a different story for Units.
Well, I do want to take a look at the Gunless player card though from Envy, because he was obviously one of the big talking points of the most recent roster mania, all the drama that went down with him from that LG roster. And these are his stats thus far, maybe not as flashy as we've seen from Gunless at times, where he's hovering around a 1-2 in every single game mode, but I think it's closer to form than we've seen him recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost just like something you have to question at this point. Like, what did LG do? What did the guys on Luminosity do to really set that guy up for success? Because since that team, he hasn't been the same gunless with those 1.2s, but
Well,
yeah, like you said, he's finally starting to get there.
you had a guy that helped Octane find a lot of success for a long time, some that always will go in first when he needs to in Slack. I'm sure that makes everybody's job a whole lot easier. But to Hosty and to Search, we go. Can Units bring it back and tie it up, or will Envy get the 2-0 edge? It's Units to offense first. It's going to be a bloodbath here towards the A site. Nice shots from Silly and Assault. Instant 5v3. Units in trouble. Cammy's been spotted. The flank is in. One more at well. Raiden might be able to make a bit of a difference as he comes through on the flank, but is it too little too late? That seems to be the call.
Wow. Silly with the ice skates.
Yeah, that is stock on a sub for you. And how hard that can be. Well, that right there is an example of why we gas Octane so much. Because sometimes he wins those fights when he has no right doing it, like those close range ones with an ICR, because you saw there how impossible it looks.
Silly with 3 in the round. Has the best play. I don't think we're going to see the final gunfight, but he slides on through.
I think Silly about snapped his left stick there. And I know it's been a frustrating year for Envy as a whole, but I think for Silly especially, considering how he started the year. Like, he was in talks as like a top 5 Maddox in the game. Like, we were saying that for him for months.
Yeah, him and Hook were fantastic.
And then things just fell apart. So Silly, one of the players with a ton to prove this weekend. But now to round 2. B plant coming in from Envy, Rated, the one with eyes on it, but gunless with the bomb cover, looks over his planter in Silly, rips Rated's eyes out.
And that's just one of those plays, maybe a bit of an overpeak for Rated, right? What does Singularity do so well when we were talking about it? You play the 5 versus 5 retakes. You have to wait for your teammates to rotate on over, but that doesn't happen. And you can see after that first blood, things collapsing for Units. Assault goes on a big pinch. He's able to find one. But Assault able to turn and burn on a Nolson.
Is this World War II champs Assault again?
Now
Is
5-0.
he getting back in form? Let's see it again. One, two, and the slide and snap at 14 HP. That's a gunfight win from Assault. Woo!
And again, right, these guys have been here, world champions on this stage. When that confidence gets going, that's what's going to be difficult for Units to stop. Now 5-0, 275 off of streaks.
No dead silence on that class. He wide peeks and tries to spot, doesn't see anything, but they were so deep out in water and hugging that rock wall that he just doesn't get eyes on it. Now the information that they're there, the stun check through.
You gotta wait for Rated though, right? Look at number 4. He's the one wrapping water. Him and Weeman have a bit of a pinch set up. Weeman, he's gonna have a lot to deal with. That's gonna be Silly. Goes on that wide flank, and because Rated just takes so long, you're in another situation where you don't have the man advantage. Nolson able to bring it back. Him and Joe both find kills. Assault, though, can he find another kill? No, they stop his streak, so they forced the 2 versus 3.
Units now just trying to make up their minds with this bomb. I thought Cammy might get caught, but he takes the one-on-one, able to take out Silly. Decimate now in trouble with the KN, and he will fall. So round win for Units. What was the big play in that round for you, Joe?
I think Joe and Nolson both finding the kills on the bomb site because Weeman was in trouble. Rated was taking so long on this flank. If that Envy pinch comes through a little bit faster on the flank, I think that's another Envy round win because Rated was just out towards that water for a majority of that round. But a big round win, keep them in this game.
Big presence from both teams, top halls. Cammy almost wall bang down. He does get finished. One of those shots from Assault, first blood to Assault. Joe doesn't finish the kill. Weeman, though, able to pick it up. 4 versus 4.
Yeah, similar to what we saw from Envy last round. Nolson and Joe getting very aggressive on the flank. Aches, though, Able to give them that man advantage. Once again, both teams just sort of rotating around the map. Still time to work with Nolson. He can make the play right here. Able to find one, slides on out, finds the second as well on a silly. That's the bomb carrier down. Now he's just gonna play his life, allow his team to regroup with him.
Nolson, what a round it's been. 3 in a row now for Nolson. Decimate lasts alive for back-to-back rounds. The flank comes in from Joe. Units answering the call as they even up this game 2. Of course, it's Nolson. He kind of hopped off his POV for the second fight, so we can see it here. Nice shots, the slide challenge. Oh, hit to 22. What a win there from Nolson.
I mean, yeah, that's silly with his SOG, right? But he saw him go inside the stairs. So I think he was anticipating the slide and jump back from silly. Beautiful movement from him. A guy we saw substitute for Splice, and I think with his time with Splice, I think he impressed us for the most part, right? Like,
not an easy.
He was a consistent main AR.
Kill for either end of things is still vying for that top hall control. Weeman passing it up to worry about the flank. Silly keeps peeking. Silly gets punished. Rated hits the shot. A nice little wall bang through for Rated to put it to a 4 versus 3. Assault, he's got the angle. Can he get the shots? Wide peaks, drops 1, but can't take any more with him. Decimate and Gunless now need to clutch in a 2v3. Decimate has this cluster. Can he hit a big one? It looks like for now, units opt to wrap this back towards B and leave one lurker in Nolson.
Yeah, Nolson's really just a point man, trying to find any information. Gunless is gonna read this correctly, does spot Rated on the bomb, but has Weeman watching over him. You have Decimate with the cluster. I think he's trying to wait for that. Instead, he's gonna save it, the ICRs, the units.
If Decimate's the first person there, probably hits it. Wait, so they did make that change, right? Because Gunless was running War Machine at the last event in Miami. Because I've seen, how many times have we seen Gunless throughout the year from that POV, just get the cluster on bomb, get a kill? Honestly, when we hopped to Gunless's POV for a second, I was thinking, oh, this is a freebie, but Decimate's the one with the cluster, he's a little bit behind. Yeah, it was probably a tough decision.
Right, rather than save it or not.
Well, I mean, just like with who's gonna run War Machine for this team.
Well, I think when we've seen Decimate at his best, I think he has had the War Machine. Has been on that battery character, but units now 3 rounds in a row for them. Find the first 2 opening kills. Nolson trying to connect with his snipe.
Nolson still just holding it, looking for an angle.
Just misses him.
Almost gets exited. Peekaboo comes Assault as he hits the shots, but Rated his POV, because in this 3v3, he's 1 kill off of streaks.
He's 1 bullet off of streaks, just trying to tag Assault, I think. Him and Weeman working together. Weeman, though, gets caught trying to set him up. Cammy's middle of the map, just up top, watching that middle connector. But almost feels like because Rated's playing for these streaks, it's allowed Envy back into it. There was no double challenge. There's going to be a stun on through. Still, Rated doesn't want to commit, wants these streaks, not going to get him. Cammy, though, well, he gets taken down. Decimate with a big 2 kills.
Big round for Envy.
Yeah, it was a 3 versus 2. But they were hunting those streaks, and as you said, that was 3 rounds in a row for units before this one.
Big round for Envy to slow down the momentum from units within this game too. Decimate able to get the clutch. That's got to feel good because he's been last alive, it feels like, in so many of these rounds in tough spots, but there. Finishes the kill to clutch up in the 1v1. It's a 3-3 the round count. And Silly just gets swarmed. Joe's able to get across mid-map. Envy on their back foot so early within this round. Map control abound for units as they work to get this plant down at B.
Just feels like early on, right? The ICRs are really setting the tempo for these teams. I mean, there's been wall bangs on both sides, and then right there allows Joe to get pushed on up as He backed down Silly. Now Joe just sort of playing this lurker role. Decimate does find him. 3 versus 4. You have the cluster. Cammy's in the water, all down to Decimate. And now 4 in a row, maybe 5. Maybe he's trying to get out with his life, play for some streaks, but he's here. He's caught, and well, Wee Man gonna take him down.
Yeah, he was in a real tough spot. He'd rather just immediately book it to the other side of the map, but yeah, tough last alive position for Decimate again. They've had a couple big clutches on this map. That's where Gunless had his 1v4. It was here on Hacienda. Decimate maybe with a chance if they stack and then gets a one-on-one versus the guy in water, but not the case. I like that. The banners going dark when they get dropped in the search round.
Mm-hmm.
No presence from units really towards that B side as they'll start to wrap back to get eyes. Look at how much information they've got towards mid though. Joe's already up to the top hall side of Envy's base. It's him and Cammy starting to hunt forward. It's really gonna be at number 6 in the minimap. Gunless is gonna have a lot to do, but it's an Olsen that finds the opening pick from Boathouse. Now Joe through from mid-map. Able to hit the play. They opt to go through towards Rock, and Joe just gonna insta-hop this. Nobody's got eyes on it from Envy. No one can get eyes on it from Envy. You know how difficult it is from that side of the map, and there's the defuse, there's the round of units. Nobody gets eyes in time.
Yeah, there was early pressure towards Garage, and I think that forced 2 Envy members to really focus on their flank, and those players just go through top hall and they just bully their way through. When you don't have eyes on it, you force Gunless to have to try to challenge a play like this.
Hell, even for me, as I was calling that, like I saw them headed towards Garage, I thought it was going to be Gunless's fight. I take my eyes off the minimap for a moment, and suddenly Joe's hitting from top hall, so they fake me out for a moment there. It catches Envy. And you always talk about that bomb site, how tough it can be to cover, especially when you try to do it from garage side. With the giant rock there, it's difficult to get line of sight. I like the insta-hop from Joe.
Yeah, just realizes the situation, knows they have numbers. Now units 1 round away from tying this up. It's a team effort across the board from units. And right now, they're just waiting for Rated. Just going on a very wide flank. Gunless doesn't spot him. Once he gets out, what kind of play can he make?
Well, last time he did this, remember that everything kind of dissolved before he was in a position to make a play. Not the case this time. Is the push more passive from units.
Yeah, you see they're just trying to peek him and wait for him.
Easy kills. Easy kills. 2 are going to drop. 3 now down for Envy. Aches and Assault. The chance to clutch to push this the distance. Assault able to finish 1. He's going to get swarm caught. Reloading should drop. Now to Patrick Price in a 1 versus 3. 30 seconds to work with as the bomb getting planted by units. That's a big one-on-one win. Now 1 versus 2 for Pat. Bomb planted for units. Not the easiest push from that angle with an ICR. The peak comes out. Cammy takes it. And units even up our best of 5, 1-1.
And I think a big map win when you talk about how close game number 1 was. It felt like units had it. They were inside that hard point. A couple of big plays from Decimate allows them to win that, but very convincing, right? I mean, this is what we talked about with this NV team. How good is their search and destroy gonna be? It was great through groups, but it's a different beast in bracket.
Did you see issues there for Envy that you didn't like, or more as an impressive performance from units?
I think it was just impressive from units, right? But I think early on in a lot of those rounds, there was just so many picks early on by Wee Man with that ICR.
Units bring it back. The map 1, sensational. If you missed it, watch it. 250 to 249. It was a nail biter. But Champs bracket play has started. The passion is on. We'll be right back.
Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL, and Republic of Gamers, the official monitor of the CWL.
up Game Fuel. Level up the game.
Welcome back to the CWL Championship Units. Envy, a winner's round 1 matchup tied up at 1-1. And Joe, if we know anything about Envy this year, they live and die by the game 5. So I would not be shocked if that is where we're headed.
Well, Joe rated as well. All their teams, it feels like they go the distance. Yeah, when I saw this one sort of had game 5 written all over it, but we'll see what happens as we get into this control. I believe it's going to be C-side.
And I think one thing that stood out, at least from one of the stats we took a look at earlier, was the profile for Gunless.
Well,
good in hardpoint, good in surge. Yeah, like a .77 in control. So not great there. We'll see if he can pick things up in this map 3. But before we get into it, I do want to check in on our other match going down on Bravo. That's going to be Singularity and Sicario. This is what, round 5 of the game 3. Huge moment in this first round. Matchup.
Yeah, Sicario on that defensive side. It doesn't look like there's any streaks. We talked about Insight when we tuned in during that search and destroy, having another big game at 28-17. But Singularity, how do you get to this A site? How do you get on a point? It's just so difficult with the map position that Sicario has.
Only 15 seconds to do it. Now it's going to come in the push through window. But I believe it was Lenny that was tucked away in the pocket. There they get the kills. Keza able to go huge. 3 are going to end up dropping. A chance to get in and get this first point for them. The clock has stopped, and Keza wins another big gunfight as he picks up Proto inside the lobby. So that's 3 in a row at an absolutely crucial moment there from Keza.
Yeah, he goes through artillery and decides to flank the face of Sicario. Found those 2 kills. Those 2 players were trying to get inside of A. Well, Chino was on the pinch, but I think Kleenex was able to spot that, backs him down. So Sicario has to give this up. It's only a 2 life advantage right now from Singularity and only a minute to work with, so not a lot of time.
You use the TAC 5 for the first push. You have the Tempest on base as well. Lightning strike comes in over the top, funnels him in, able to pick up Chino. Now's your chance to break. Here they go. Proto at least takes 1 with him. 2 drop from either side. Biz is tagged up and scrambling, just gets away with his life. 10 HP, but through the lightning strike, it seems like Sicario have done enough to stay in this towards the point.
If the Tempest as well, Proto's getting close to grab
Dude, how many times is Bid's gonna get hit to 10 or less help?
Well, here comes that Tempest right now. Can he hit his shot? 30 seconds, 12 versus 9. Lenny though on the flank, and that's a big stun. He's able to connect with that hip fire.
I don't know how, but he does connect.
But Exceed gets 2, right? So here comes the pinch, and well, there's nobody at the front. Tommy's able to hold on.
It's all on Keza. I think Keza's gonna have to make the play. He's the one towards the lobby for Singularity. He's gonna have to be there for the pinch. Only 8 seconds on the clock. They've gotta go. Keza doesn't win his one-on-one. It's Exceed and Lenny that are able to shut it down. As Sicario look to hold on. Nobody close to the point. Sicario, a massive round 5 victory, as they'll take a 2-1 series edge, taking what, both respawns in this series thus far.
Yeah, I don't think we knew how game 1 went, but that game 3 very close, and I think that was a huge play out of Exceed.
Well, let's get right back over to Alpha as we're loading up for the control on C side between Envy and Units. I think we just hopped into the game, so we'll get there momentarily, but so far, 2 incredible maps within this best of 5. Gunless's POV to start it off, and it looks like a delayed push towards B, showing players over at A. They're gonna wanna force the rotation out of that B site, and then Gunless and company are gonna collapse on the other side. And that's exactly what happens. 2 rotate off the site, 1 stays at B. They'll have a 2-on-1 at B. This could not have gone better for Envy.
Yeah, Silly's able to find 3 kills. The trade wasn't there. A huge play from him. That just takes so much pressure off the B side like you were talking about.
So much, it takes all of it basically, right?
Decimate's able to find Joe top middle, so there's no top middle pressure from those stairs from Units. It has to be from their side. You have nades, you have stuns at the ready. 2 ticks about to come in. All the kills from Envy right now, but it just starts with Silly making that play as he continues.
Yeah, it's like really you're just throwing him to the wind there for a bit. Maybe to get 1 kill, you still feel good about it because it still might force a rotation out to some degree, or at least catch an awkward timing. Getting 3 kills is just ludicrous from that spot. So what a start. You get the first point and you have a 4 life advantage. And with 2 minutes to go, maybe just play a little bit of TDM for now. Make sure you trade effectively, keep the kill edge in your favor. Unfortunately, you give Joe a one-on-one, and he's able to take that and get away with his life.
Yeah, this is what Joe does best, right? He's just always that thorn in your side. Just so annoying to play against. Decimate, though, just, you know, gives him an elbow to the chin.
It's a good read by Decimate. He gets the kill on the other end, expects Joe to then hit the flank. Great play by Decimate.
Silly tries to get in the base, get a couple of spawn kills, doesn't happen. His unit's able to find 3, 4. Decimate now the last one left, just trying to play his life. Doing a great job so far. His teammates are back in business with him. He's able to find another one.
Oh, hello. Bit of a detonate there to just slow it down for a moment. Maybe let them get into position, but the life advantage has stayed strong in the favor of Envy. $15 versus 10. Minute to work with. Decimate trying to finesse for these streaks. He's just 275 off.
As you watch some of these pro players, the way they move around the map, it just looks difficult to deal with. A great life out of Decimate, but it's Nolson who's able to bring it back for units. He finds 3 kills. Well, now, only a 3 life advantage, 1 minute to work with.
Yeah, if they win this round, it's off of Nolson getting the 3 kills there. That just alleviates all the pressure, ends up exhausting 20 to 30 seconds off the clock as they all have to come off spawn, and closes the gap a bit with regards to the lives department. A messy gunfight inside goes the way of Silly. Silly now to 7 and 5. Cammy picks up the read as the flank comes on through. We have the Wee Man's POV as he takes 2 with them. 5 lives remaining for units. As they clutch up, Joe bails out Nolson. What a play from Joel. Now there's 15 seconds to work with. All 5 players from Envy coming off a spawn, trying to hit through barrels. It's desperation time. As they try to get through, Silly with the opening pick. They get in, they stop the clock for now, but it's gonna be Joe that comes in on the flank. 50 now off the streets, Joe trying to make the play. But all the kills come in for Envy, and somehow they pull that out. I thought they were toast.
It just starts with that first kill towards courtyard side.
Silly.
You're almost questioning why is Cammy in that position, right? He gets caught with a stun in his hand. I think you just play from church there. If you're worried about your flank, I don't think you have to peek that. There has to be a player inside of church watching that tiny door.
If you have some respawns available, maybe sure, play it like that, peek it, but not when you have no lives left.
Yeah, just play with your team. He's all alone by himself, gets caught with that stun in his hand, and that was the opening because that allows Silly to hit that flank. Joe almost makes the play, but all the trades are going down on the point.
Yeah, I thought Nolson's 3-piece, and then what, Joe's double to save Wee Man, I think it was. Like, I thought that was gonna be enough for him, but Envy get there just in time with a little under 5 seconds to go. They get into the point. Still 1 member left in church. That's rated, he will fall. Envy hold the first wave. Now it looks like units want to bring it towards B. Joe, though, going on a wide flank. He's going to be highlighted on your mini-map. As Joe's wrapping all the way around. The problem is all his teammates are dying up front. By the time Joe's going to get there, he's got nobody left to work with. How much destruction can he cause, though? At least drops 2. The 3rd inside was Assault.
He's just playing his life, though, at this point, right? Like, just wait for your teammates. Sorry. This allows his team to get into this B zone. Joe does it again.
I thought the flank was going to be too late, but, well, when you get 2 kills and stay alive,
but behind it, Envy still with control. I just feel like if you're playing Joe, you don't see him on the map for a little bit, somebody has to turn around.
Decimate can't pop the heal in time, and can be able to take him down. Here comes a big hit from units. A crucial one, considering there's 25 seconds on the clock. The RK7 not enough to get the hold. 3 are gonna drop for Envy, and that should be now the first point to units. And Joe, you get any kind of church or back steps control, a big grab slam could get you the offensive round win.
Yeah, and you would love to tie this one up, not go down in that 0-2 hole, and then all the specialists come alive for Envy.
I swear, more and more this year, we just see offensive victories on this map.
Yeah, you and I were just talking about it. As Decimate's locking down top bar, he's gonna stagger the push of units. Joe and Cammy now all alone towards that first hard point. They're gonna have to stay alive. It looks like they'll be able to do that as Rated finds another one towards barrel side. So this will allow them to get pushed up. but still a lot of work to do for units and only a minute left to do so.
It's the grab slam from Joe. Does he get in a good position to use it? That has got to be the play. Well, unfortunately, the only kill he gets there is Cammy. Wee-Man drops at the same time, so the push slowed for now. He knows there's at least two. There's the grab slam. Two are going to drop 150 off the streaks, and that's the opening. Unfortunately for him, though, two players still working their way through through barrels to get involved. By the time they get there, though, the other three have fallen. 7v6 favor to Envy, 20 seconds on the clock. Wee-Man, what a play to bring it even.
Yeah, he's able to keep this courtyard control. They can go through this tiny door, stop the clock. Well, Decimate, though, he's going to pull out the War Machine. Not sure if they were expecting that. Don't think so. No flak jacket on. He's going to connect with two. Rated in Cammy, though. 3 versus 3. Tempest is out, though. Gunless connects on to 2.
Nolson, last man up. Can he get in time? He's got to touch it. Not able to get in. Just a half second too late, and Envy hold on. And I like that. You take the advantage you got from the first round with regards to the Specialist. You use the War Machine, you use the Tempest. Those are the reasons you win that round. You know you're going to get them again. It's only round 2. You take a 2-0 edge. I mean, that's perfect from Envy. Joe's grab slam was great, but the problem was two of his teammates dropped right before that. Yeah, as soon as he hit it, I looked at the minimap, and there were 2 players still deep in barrels. So there's another 5 to 7 seconds before they can get in. Whereas the Envy players that dropped, literally the players he killed, his teammates dropped like 5 seconds before that. Envy's still going to beat them there is the problem, just because of the close spawn.
Well, in round number 3, Envy going right back towards this A hit. They do have middle control. They're going to get on, but Nolson, Wee-Man, both winning some gunfights. Gunless, look at the bottom right, 250 off some streaks. What can he find? 50 now, away.
So much for that .77. Putting on a show within this one as he has to do his best Batman impersonation, soaring out of the window, trying to avoid the cluster. Attack 5 used by Envy.
Silly has the slam as well. We talked about Joe's inside this A site, but guess who it is? It's Joe on a flank. 21-9 from Joe, able to stay alive with 1 HP. Now he's just gonna head into top bar, just try to be annoying. He can go on another flank all the way around. That's what he's gonna do, but Decimate spots him. You see number 5 immediately turn around. That was Assault, him and Gunless.
That's fortunate he spots him.
Yeah, able to double team Joe. But easy part done for Envy, now onto the harder point.
Nice shots from Assault. 3 now down for units. Big win from Gunless as well. Here comes Silly. 3 drop to the grab slam. Decimate takes the 4th with them. Envy can close it out here. All 5 are going to be down. Still a presence in the back from Silly as well, just trying to delay the push back in. You've got 2 players stacked to the point, so it's not moving as fast as it could, but it's not gonna matter as Decimate lines them up in this map all but over. Envy hit another gear within this 3rd round, and there it goes. Units smoked off the map. Decimate fries them in the back. Silly with the grab slam right before, and both respawns to Envy.
Yeah, I got a little bit worried there after Silly used it because it was a similar scenario where even when he gets pushed up and finds 4 kills, there's only 2 on the point. Decimate, though, decides to get off of it, keeps the pressure on, and after that play, allows his teammates to get on the point, just staggers the push of units. Units have no chance of getting back.
Well, yeah, a lot of times we'll say, like, just stack it, right? Like, get 3-4 players there. As Silly's the point man, but Decimate does leave it. Decimate getting loose that first gunfight, it's like, you could have had more progress. But the fact he gets a triple ends up the perfect scenario for Envy. They dominate the C side and now take back control of this series before we head to another hard point. That one not quite as close as the game 1. But even though it was a 3-0 though, all 3 rounds, obviously, nail biters.
And you see Gunless and Assault just coming up off spawn, so Decimate decides, hey, I have to push up. This is what really slows down this push. Because he has this, they can set up a pinch on the other 2 players who come up the driveway, and then they just fly forward, stack the point. They almost get in here towards the end. You'll see Nolson almost touch it, but Envy Able to close it out, but there's Decimate, top 4 last year, and you can just see it, consistency across the board.
Yeah, it doesn't get much tighter than that in all 3 game modes. But what a round 3. And those closing moments from Decimate. We'll get back over to Bravo for a moment as they load up the map for it here. Sicario looking to take this series 43 points away from a round 1 victory and moving into winners round 2.
All right, we'll say I just looked at this when our game ended, and I saw there was like 3 streaks on the side of Sicario, so it looks like Singularity has dealt with them. Sicario's had the lead for majority of this game. They had a lot of streaks, but when you exhaust all of those, this is an opportunity for Singularity to get right back in this game.
He's quick. Shane takes 2 with them. Now can they get some points here and chain this into Garage? Because Keza just won a gunfight towards Rock, so you're in a pretty good spot for the next Hardpoint. They haven't been able to really get in and collect any time here, but Bids and Insight give them numbers even more. Now into the Hardpoint they go. Already out in towards Water will be clean next. Rock Control dominated, back lobby dominated. You can kind of see the comeback on the minimap, but
yeah, they just can't out right here. There's still 10 seconds for Sicario to get pushed up the map. These are big kills that are going to go down. You have Rock Control for Sicario.
You lost Rock Control at the worst possible time with 5 seconds left on the old Hardpoint, and that allows them to get a close spawn, continue to flood. It looks so good for a moment for Singularity, but now a lot scarier. They're all grouped up, cluster in front. Tempest taken out of it. He's able to survive, but just waiting for Stim to get back up so he can get off the heel. Now can he hit the shot? 1 gonna get dropped. 3 going to fall. The hipfire will come through as well. 5 down as Sicario get wiped. But just 20 points away from the game 1 win.
And all he's trying to do right now is hit a shot or 2 and slow this push down. You do have number 9 going on a flank. That's gonna be Proto. Can't connect on the players pushing the front. Tempest runs out, but behind the Tempest, they were able to regain control. And they hold on while Keza goes on the flank. He's gonna spot Linny, but Chino, I think, did enough work to buy enough time for Sicario or here. And they wanna fight for these 10 seconds, because after this, they'll be 5 points away from winning this map and winning the series.
Yeah, I guess if you're Singularity, you did enough to make sure Sicario couldn't win it there, but they do get closer. Specialist-wise, what about that grab slam on both ends of it, Tommy?
Vision Pulse is in from inside right now.
Tempest as well, and what can they get from this Vision Pulse? Already 1 entry kill. They go 2 for 2 though. Actually Edge, big Edge now to Sicario. 4 drop for Singularity. The flood gonna come in. Spawning out Rock side will be Singularity. 3 more points needed. A contest there briefly, but that should do it. Sicario get the winners round 1 victory, and Tommy will do it again. Well, they'll get it once they get this final point, Joe. As the contest comes in.
You always hate that, Joe. Yeah, you're about to close it out, and of course they get on for 1 more second. Linux has to be perfect right now, trying to stay alive. Here comes Proto over the top with 2. Still, though, not able to close this one out. Watching the rotation, Sicario should be there. There we go.
I tried to time it perfectly, Joe, and I did not. It gets extended a bit, but we'll go right back to Alpha. Sicario in the end, able to get it done, but into frequency we go. The madness at Elevator. Who's left at the end of it? It's Weeman and Nolson that make the play.
And when we saw units, this team form, and they had their Pro League week, this is where they looked the strongest, was frequency Hardpoint. Just felt like it was a staple. They were always taking top teams. They were either beating them on it or playing them very close.
And when I talked to Ace on Hot Mic, he said when we went into Miami, our best online Hardpoint was frequency. We played it on LAN and got obliterated. So it went from being one of they thought their best maps to one they're not great at. So we watched them get smoked. That's the one where Gunless were like 9 and 25. Like they got slaughtered on this at Miami.
Tell you what though, they haven't had a lot of great maps on LAN lately.
No, they haven't, but this is just one map and mode specifically that Ace talked about where they thought they were good from online practice. Learned quickly on LAN they weren't. And it's a 30-point edge early for units.
Yeah, but Envy did a great job fighting for the back of orange base. They have rotation. One interesting thing, yeah, you saw gunless with the SOG. We talk about the 3 SOG meta on this map. It doesn't look like units are going for that. You still see 2 Maddoxes out for Cammy and Rated.
4 down for Envy. They clean up the player in the back as well. A chance to open up this lead even more for units. Joe, a tool of destruction at mid-map, right over to Rated. As he gets a melee in top window. And now they flip the spawns. This could not be better for units. They are just toying with Envy now. They get him spawning in the back. They get all of the time. Cammy staying up and playing for streaks in the hard point. I was about to say, please get out of there, play a little bit safer. And he's able to do just that. They take out one of the spawners on the other side of the map as well. So this could not look better for units. A chance for streaks, a chance to chain bases. Beautiful stuff.
And I think it starts with Joe and his presence inside elevator. Immediately that first push from Envy just gets cut down. Then they push forward, they flip those spawns. The Lightning's in, the Hellstorm's in. 6 in a row for Cammy. Joe was on a force free. Nolson's double positive as well. Units are on point right now.
And it's sometimes, like we've talked about units being a team that, even when they play top teams, they can keep it scrappy, they can keep it messy. I haven't seen that. They're just outplaying Envy. They're beating them to rotations. They're not pushing when they're in a bit of a stagger. They're pushing together. It's been a real team effort thus far. And the scoreline reflects that. Cammy Streak's likely going to be held on for the Pipes rotation, and Pipes is exactly where Envy is spawning for this next hard point. Envy have got to get some kind of hold here, Joe, but the streaks are going to make it difficult.
I mean, you have the streaks, you have some specialists as well already because Joe's already starting to go off.
And you're 2 dead.
Wingman almost has Tempest. They are just so far ahead in all aspects right now. Hellstorm in. Joe's able to win the first one, Wingman another one, so he's just going to hover this and slow things down more and find Silly.
And now, if you're Envy, you're spawning all the way back orange because you've got both sides of Pipes pushed out. Well, they did until Joe dropped. Now comes in the collapse from Pipes in mid-map. 3 fall for units. The break there for Envy. Good job quickly retaking to make sure units can't open up even more of a lead.
Thought Joe was gonna use the grab there. He's hanging on to it for Elevator, which is gonna be up next. But units already back in the hill behind Weeman's too. Cammy, he gets in there, wins his one-on-one. I just find it interesting because all the teams we've watched been running 3 SOGs, and the most dominant frequency performance yet that we've seen has been just with two Maddoxes with 2 SOGs.
What a combo there. It's the Tempest and the cluster. Great teamwork from units. 4, then 5 down for Envy. And elevator control over to units. What a flick that is from Weeman too to delay this even more. Lightning strike now earned. Can he hit one shot at the edge? He can. That'll chain together. Staggering the push once again for Envy. It's 150 to 26, Joe.
Yeah, Joe's able to find 3 more with the grab. You have more streaks on the Cammy. I thought they would have used a Hellstorm there. Maybe to slow things down, but they're just using all of their specialists. Everything going well right now for units.
And this is the one thing I heard about this Envy team. Even though they've been playing better from a results standpoint, I said it when we started this match, they have some strong maps. They have a lot of weak maps. Like their strong map pool is not good, or it's not big. This is one of their weaker maps, and this just isn't competitive. And how hard is it gonna be for them to make a deep run if they've got a handful of maps where they know they're gonna get smoked?
I mean, I don't think you can make a deep run with that. I mean, I think we heard Pac-Man say, right?
Well, if
both
you do,
the hard points they were winless on.
If you do, you win game 5. It's gonna have to be through game 5. Like it's almost impossible to imagine them doing it unless it's through that.
Yeah, this is a slaughter right now. They still have streaks up. Envy finally close to getting their first set of specialists. Maybe that can swing some momentum on their side.
No,
but
probably
I think we all know this one's about done.
The scoreline a little bit different than the map 1.
A little bit different.
This is what we thought though when we first saw this matchup. Had game 5 written all over it. Envy has had to win 3 in a row to get to this spot. Can they win 4 game 5s in a row?
And we saw that too, like the better S&D team, at least Hacienda was units.
But we get to Envy's pick though.
Yep.
And back to what I said, they have some strong maps. They're gonna get to their strong search. Decimate with the War Machine over the top to keep them inside of blue. Maybe they could avoid getting 50 point clubbed with a late effort inside of the base. Nice cluster to split that push, but as he snaps to the outside, you can't win the fight.
Yeah, all Units is trying to do is get elevator control, which they're finally able to do. They're gonna use the lightning behind that. Gunless probably dead. The player on balcony has to go back inside. Here comes the contest. Now you see the Purifier out from Rated.
Well, Salt and Decimate are brave players because they just ran right through the Purifier, and Rated, I think, takes 3 with them before he falls. They can win it here. Envy is closely spawned in the back, or spawning close in the back. They just need to get a contest in. They're able to do that for just long enough where Units can't win it. Gunless, though, gonna have to throw the Tempest into the mix. Nice shot, dear Lord. That was a snap in the window. Not gonna matter in the course of this game, but...
Yeah, no, Cammy uses their last streak. 3 go down. Silly grab slams absolutely nothing, and that was a very fast map, number 4.
All right, Units dominate. Units absolutely dominate. It's like tough to get even hype about that one, just how lopsided it was.
Well, I mean, if you're an Envy fan, you're used to this at this point, right? This is gonna be their 4th map 5 in a row. All 3 of their group play games go to map 5.
It's a map 5
just
magic.
another day.
It really is. I even think they're shocked. They know that's not a good map for them, and the scoreline shows it. Envy, Units, our first alpha match of the championship bracket. It's going the distance. Map 5 up next.
The Call of Duty World League is brought to you by Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, the official beverage of the CWL. And Totino's Pizza Rolls. Make the everyday epic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's our first alpha match of the championship bracket here at the 2019 CWL Championship, and it's been a riveting one. We're going the distance to a map 5 between Envy and Units. If you're tuning in late, I guess the map I'd probably most recommend watching would be the map 1. It was a 250, 249 nail biter, but none of that matters anymore because we're headed to a 5th and final map. We'll quickly take a look at the box score though, and that is,
Yeah, it's a lot of points for one team and not a lot of points for the other.
the first thing.
2.
89-2 and 83-12. Yeah, you're not going to win. Getting smoked on 2 hard points like that.
That's true. Yeah, that's not really how you win.
You saw the scoreline, but we knew coming in that there were some rough maps for Envy, and that is one of them. All that matters though, the game 5, which will be coming up. Can Envy keep it going and win 4 game 5s in a row? Why the hell not?
I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's just so difficult to do. We talk about it, you know, how hard it is to win consistently with those game 5s. Team can prepare for you for your search and destroy. One positive is going to be that it's Envy's S&D.
I think the guy that really has been making plays throughout this, though, for the Units team has been Joe. Whether it was in the control, I know they get 3-0, but he had some moments where it could have swung it in their favor. Maybe the guy that's going to step it up in the search and destroy. I think maybe the most likely of heroes might be rated with the search and destroy performances he's had over the course of the year, but that duo of him and Joe, the veterans, they've got a second place at champs before. They got to step it up in this game 5 in a big way. Yeah,
I mean, you know what Joe does. He consistently does it. I haven't been the biggest fan of Joe and his play style because I think if he gets caught, it's a problem for his team. It's usually how they win or lose, depending on how Joe plays. But so far, it's worked out against Envy.
Reminds you sometimes of like Zuma, like those Zuma flanks. He gets there, you get a good timing, you get a lucky timing, you make the play, you might win the game.
Teams that pick up on him and punish him in those 1v1s, when he's winning his 1 versus 1s, because typically it's a person on the flank watching it, that's when they succeed.
Game 5, frequency, that is flinch at its finest. Cammy lines up Aches, 5v3 early for Units. As Team Envy have to tuck their tails between their leg and wrap here to the opposite site.
Yeah, a lot of mid-map aggression. You see that player got taken down window, so you had Cammy push up, watch the doorway, another one jump up in the window. Forces the 5 versus 3. Now Wee-Man, he's gonna get all this information, just backs on down. And we'll see what the play is for Units. It looks like they're gonna try and get aggressive through elevator, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. And see it gunless.
Yeah, I think Envy just knew there. They had to try and get a kill or 2 before they could even think about the plant. So they go hunting, but while they go hunting, Gunless gets picked. They are able to push out the backside, but Joe is there to pick up a trade as he's playing very deep on the Unit side of the map. Silly last guy up, trade is through. But that round was up early. The mid-map pressure from Units gives them the early 5v3.
Silly tries his best to bring it back, but just doesn't have the numbers. Well, the frequency dominance continues right now for Units.
Not a good start from Envy. Silly, at least a nice play to maybe give him some momentum into round 2, but that's about it. Nolson's gonna have the Paladin in hand. Thought he was lightweight flying to try and get an angle, but he's just gonna hold it here from lobby.
A much slower approach here from Units than what we saw from Envy. You have one player watching top middle, that's gonna be Aches. Aches almost gets caught out, spots the sniper, just gonna back away.
Doesn't want to get picked again, but first blood, it's gonna be Aches. Aches is gonna drop, he hasn't been involved in this map 5 yet. 2 first bloods for Units.
Well, what's the play call gonna be? I think he can rotate out. Yeah, Rated has the bomb. They're just gonna jump up middle ladder. Now it's on the Silly to try to spot this as he can. And I don't know if he's gonna see anyone. Did he spot that last player? Because he backs up, I don't know if he's gonna know there's 5 players here from Units, able to back away. It's a little bit scary there. Rated gets beamed, but there's the trade.
Ends up in a 2 versus 2. Decimate and assault versus Nolson and Wee-Man. Nolson going through lobby. He's working the flank here. Nolson's working the flank, and Nolson able to get an easy pick. Now all on a Decimate. Can Decimate clutch? He's had so many in his young career. 1 versus 1, 20 seconds to go. Just spotted him. He just spotted him, slides out, but Wee Man with the ICR hits every bullet, clutches the 1v1, and 2-0 lead to Units.
And you saw what Decimate was trying to do. He was standing still. He wanted Wee Man to think, right? There's so many different places where Decimate can fly out from. He can go from window, he can go from balcony. He's just trying to get in Wee Man's head, and I think he does. The timing, though, with the slide just goes the way of Wee Man.
Yeah, I thought Decimate spots him there. That's a free win. But Wee Man, to be fair, I think hits every hip-fire bullet from his ICR in that scenario and just melts Decimate. Wee Man starts out 3-1. Now, the first bloods have been the story thus far for Units. This time, Silly able to find the first pick. Numbers stay in their favor as Nolson gets tagged up and backed up. Will shift focus to Wee Man, who's stuck bottom ladder. Nolson was trying to wrap across to help, but can't get there in time. And rated now in a 1 versus 4, gets the first kill.
In a very similar round from Units, right? It was just much faster. So what Envy does, they put a lot of pressure, bottom ladders, they get Units out of there, they put pressure on pipes, that forces the rotation, and then they just get out, right? They flood through ladders, they're able to catch Units on the rotation. They don't want to run into the sniper rifle, so they just go the other way.
Envy needed a round so badly after this poor start, and there they get one. And they start to make these mid-game adjustments. And this is a 4-man hit to elevator. Oh, this is going to be a fast round. This is going to be a very fast round. I thought Envy were to come out with the upper hand after getting the first blood, but Eunice just back it up and somehow find the picks. Silly evens the odd at 3 versus 3 for just a second, but it's a mid-map pick from Nolson that gets the trade.
I like
3
that from
versus 2
Nolson.
for Units.
Yeah, doesn't over peak, right? He hears the ICR, doesn't want the flinch to come through. They have the man advantage, use the RK7.
I'm surprised as many people are alive as there are. A lot of times you see that full-on elevator hit.
Yeah, both teams just sort of stopped.
Yeah.
The Units were the team that comes out on top. The rotation is here. What's the play call? And I think they're just going to go. They're just going to wrap all the way to A.
It looked like it for a second, then they backed up the spot, and now they're going to go. At the same time, though, Assault and Decimate hitting across mid-map. The race is on to A. Does Decimate get there in time to get a pick? Spots it just for a second. Decimate doesn't have his cluster to use, so can't clear the bomb site. Nolson hit the 14 HP, but just barely gets away. Now Envy in such a difficult position here, especially with Nolson's Paladin looking over the top. Joe tagged down to 40 HP, but stays up.
That's a cluster. Oh, hits the flick.
I don't know how you do this now if you're Decimate. There's so little time to use. No dead silence. They hear him stomping in window, and Nolson really the difference maker. I mean, he gets a snipe onto Silly to keep the numbers in their favor, gets another snipe in the 3v2 to really close out the round, and then at the end, the final kill onto Decimate as he pushes forward.
Well, I thought it was going to be bad because at the start, you saw the stun miss for Units, right? So they didn't know they were going to be there. Decimate gets that first blood.
And then Units just like stopped. Like
yeah, rated and Wee Man just sort of were shooting on through, and I think Envy just over-peaked, overstayed their welcome.
Well, you're just so used to that just being like a headbutt, right? Like everyone just hits elevator, but Envy gets there a little bit faster, and it was just kind of awkward. It's like they were like, oh, we got the first kill, now what do we do? (3-1) round count to Units. Bomb planted at A now for Envy. 45 seconds for him to work with.
It's Joe on the flank. Does he know there's a player inside of window? Well, now he's going to know. Here comes the challenge. Joe able to win it with the hip fire. He was mid-heal. But gunless on the other side, able to force a 3 versus 3. I don't know if they know Wee Man's position. Nope.
Envy in a tough spot again. Big win from Silly though, 2 versus 2. It's Nolson that has to try to get onto the bomb. He's gonna go high, able to get the kill, 1 versus 1. Assault healed up, Nolson healed up. 10 seconds to work with, just not enough time for the defuse. Assault comes in for the peak, drops, but it's not gonna matter. Round to Envy and Nolson. 200 off streak, so you can at least take that into the next round. But it feels like every time units are close to sort of putting this game out of reach, Envy get around.
Yeah, big round win as well. They were in a 4 versus 3. Couple of key kills come from Decimate and Gunless. Keeps them in that round, then Assault can just play his life.
Yeah, they buy enough time. I mean, they were at a man disadvantage the entire round.
Yep, you had the first blood come in for units. You had the flank that was pushed on through by Joe. But yeah, they just pushed forward.
You have 5 more seconds on the clock, how different that 1v1 can go. But Assault in a position where doesn't need to peak until the round is over. I thought Silly was gonna get hit with the stun and fall off the map there for a second, like as he tried to jump across.
Well, he's in a bad position. Yeah, he's stuck behind the bomb because of that stun. Decimate tries to get over there to help, but look how fast units are. They use the man advantage. They're going for the bomb plant.
Olsen now 100 off the streaks. Can anyone finish these kills? The cluster forces them off a balcony for a moment. Two kills go the way of Envy. Suddenly they've got numbers 4 versus 3. Nolson is gonna drop, so I don't think he gets any streaks before he falls. Aches now lining them up. A 4v5 potential win here for Envy. There's the final kill, and how does that collapse for units, Joe?
Those balcony gunfights at times can just be so chaotic. There was a stun that came through from back elbow. I think that backs the elevator players up. So there's nobody watching over that elbow. 2 players from Envy get inside. Decimate's able to fly on out. He's the one that kills Nolson on the bomb. And when you lose that forward position, we know how tough it is when there's still 20 seconds left to check this bomb. That was really the key kill right there, because Nolson 100 away from streaks.
They've now been in 4v5s on both sides of a post-plant position and come away with both rounds. Those are the ones you look at for your units and say, we could have put them away. We could have ended this game 5. But Envy somehow bring it back. Because you've got what? It's something like 5 out of 6 rounds are first bloods for units. I mean, they've dominated that. Olsen not quite on with the flick. Joe, I think, gets the first blood, but everything nearly instantly traded after that. But as the dust settles, 3v2 for units. So Envy at a man disadvantage again. Can you pull off another one? Surely they're running out of miracles here.
Yeah, I like this from Nolson. Just back on up. Group up with your teammates. Decimate Aches still a lot of time to work with. Only 5 seconds to plant. It looks like they know that they rotated off this B site, so they're going to go for the plant right away.
How do you try to play this in a 2 versus 3?
Looks like Aches, the way they planted it, he might be trying to work top middle. Get that angle on the bomb, but I think he's gonna get some bad timing here. He is now. Decimate left all alone, and nice job by Joe and Nolson cleaning this round up.
There, units able to use the numbers effectively.
Yeah, you can see where he plants that bomb. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to set Aches up with that ICR.
Well, I got worried about it. As soon as we went to Aches POV and he didn't have dead silence, running, just stomping towards the back of that base, I was like, oh, uh-oh. Units now back in front. We'll see the best play from Wee Man. Just a nice one-on-one against Assault. That comes down to a bullet.
It was nicely set up by units. It was basically just a trap bottom ladder. As soon as they pushed through towards B, all the units were ready for it.
Nolson's been so close on a couple of snipes at this outer B site.
I mean, you haven't really had anybody challenge him. It's really just been an ICR from Assault at these long ranges. He's been able to take any shots that he wants. Well, there we go. Almost gets beamed. Hardly sees Assault. Now Envy trying to get aggressive. Wee Man, Cammy able to stay alive.
Gunless with the first blood. Wee Man brings it back instantly. Cammy gets the information as he gets the wide peek that they funnel back towards bottom ladder. As soon as they back up though, Envy opt to push.
Okay, Cammy's got to be careful here all by himself. He gets caught. Nice push from Envy.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that timing for Cammy couldn't have been worse. Like, he checks it bottom ladder, thinks they backed up towards mid. Right as he turns to back up, Envy fly.
But we just saw this from Envy. You can clutch this without the numbers. 3 versus 4. Joe in a great position inside lobby. One player's gonna fly on through. That's a nice stun. Can he get 2? Can he even find 1? Able to do so.
I was gonna say it's even harder with one of your guys having a sniper, but he hits that, brings it to a 1v1, but an easy trade for Assault. To 4-4 we go.
Yeah, that plays a little different if they don't have tac mask on, right? Joe's able to connect with that stun, finds free 2 kills. I honestly didn't think, I think if he just waits there, they don't expect him in that corner. I think the stun just sort of gives them the heads up, hey, he's gonna challenge us out of this door.
Nolson, a nice effort at the end of this, but just too many enemy players to deal with. Round 9, underway. Envy on offense and pushing towards B. The low man there gonna be Cammy. Nolson goes for an aggressive snipe top mid, not able to connect. Cammy gets tagged low. Immediately has to get out of that. Envy look like they want to fly behind it. They're trying to isolate Cammy once again, but the rotation does come in from units. They've got bodies here in the back. That cluster almost sticks his teammate Wee Man in the back of the head, but he's able to get it off. Silly trapped, Silly down. Advantage to units and another first blood for them. Envy just gonna have to back up behind the plant.
Don't be surprised if Joe just gets on this bomb right away. That's exactly what he's doing. He knows they've backed up. Where's the angle gonna come in from? Doesn't matter. Cammy finds 2. He's 80% of the way there. Once again, as soon as units recognizes that they have to back up, they have man advantage, Joe just gets on that defuse.
Well, how similar is this site to Hacienda? With that plan, I mean, it's really, really similar when you think about the retake as the defense, or as the offense, like the angle you have to actually look over that. You called that, Joe just goes right in for it. I thought it was going to be a little bit more interesting, but then Cammy smokes too, and it doesn't really matter that he had the early hop, but puts the pressure on Envy to try and make a play, and they can't do it. Now units a round away from moving on in this championship bracket.
Look at the bottom as well. Joe 1 kill away from that grab slam. Can he find it? Even an assist.
Well, that could be a
the end
real
for
tough
Envy.
pill to swallow for Envy if that gets into a round 11 and he's got it to use.
Yeah, Envy with some early aggression towards elevator. They don't spot anything. 2 of them back up, so it's just gunless inside. As you can see, he rotates out as well. But a slow round from units. I think you're just trying to play it. I mean, if you can get this plan on Joe, you have that specialist to use.
Good call on that, because hell, I don't even look at the specialist half the time in Search and Destroy. Decimate, almost drop, but slides away.
Yeah, we made that mistake once before, right?
Yeah,
Not
it's
looking
Havoc,
at it,
right?
yeah.
Units.
What can Gunless do? Okay, I thought he was in a...
Well, time's dwindling here. They got 30 seconds to go. That's the easiest snipe as it's gonna get. Decimate, picked off. Gunless though with 2 and able to heal back up. Assault then gets the pick. Nolson with a circus shot, but he will get flanked. Round 11 in the win, rated with the chance to maybe end it here, but no time to work with. 10 seconds in a 1 versus 2. Tries to challenge, but Gunless is the one that makes the play. 3 kills in the round, stands tall at the bomb site, and shuts down units.
Well, and the big thing is he gets Joe, right? So Joe still needs points to get to that grab slam. I know he's rocking a stun. Maybe he can just use that.
So how important
tag.
is that? Like, if you're units and you know he's close, like, is your entire round 11 around setting that up?
I think it almost has to be, right? Like, you're that close to a specialist. How can we get Joe an easy point? Maybe some aggression towards elevator.
Oh God, Nolson's not far off War Machine either.
Yeah, both of these players, yeah, because Nolson hit a couple of snipes. We'll see what they can find. You have Joe top middle, right behind him. Envy, a slow round.
Similar to what we saw from units. And these crunch time rounds, so much patience right now from the offense. They spot towards A. See if it presents. Now they're just going to go into window. Raid is going to get caught. Decimate with the first blood. Joe finds the stun out. Joe gets the kill. Joe has to grab some. Oh, go for it, Joe! With the slam! 2 players left for Envy. It's Gunless and Assault, and now if the clutch, Gunless gets a kill but can't get away with his life. Assault now in a 1 versus 3. They swarm on forward in units. Get the round. Joe with the stun, the kill, the slam. Clutches up for units. Assault in disbelief.
And I thought Envy found the timing right. You saw they were working up the middle of the map. The window was wide open. They're able to find Rated, but that's what I was saying. Joe had that concussion. He's able to find the first kill, plays his life, gets away, and that was what we were talking about. Could you find Joe with the slam? It's exactly what happened. Finds 4 kills in the round. Joe, the difference maker there.
Can we see again, if we can play that back, how close was Joe to dying? Because I feel like he was getting lit up when he went for the slam. It had to have been close. Let's see what he gets hit to. He earns it here, goes for it, 30 HP, so he almost got smoked before it hits. But he gets it through, and what a round from Joe. 12 and 6.
Finishes with 13, right? Because he finds this last kill onto Assault. But a back and forth match. I mean, the S&Ds, well, I mean, game 1 and game 5 were very close, but for the most part, each team was just dominating each mode. And then even throughout that, it just felt like Envy hung on by a string, right? All the rounds that units threw away with that man advantage.
Whew. What a game it was to kick off Alpha for the championship bracket, but to break it down, we'll get it over to Katie in the desk.
A game 5, round 11, no surprise for Envy, something they are quite familiar with. Unfortunately, however, not able to come out on top this time against units with that grab, helping them seal the deal.
It was, you know what's crazy is one of the things you learn throughout Black Ops 4 is that you need to stick together and trade. Yeah. But Joe just happened to throw that stun and get his kill and get his grab at that moment. So Envy technically was playing that correctly, being together, but it cost them the round at the same time because Joe comes through with the grab slam, super clutch, gets it off just in time, and they win the round.
Let's watch it one more time.
And
I Joe get that round for them.
I thought they got lucky right there too, because they were inside of you, and you saw Rated was looking at it, and then he gave it up, and he got isolated here in this top window. So I'm like, Envy just made the play. Little did they know Joe was that close to his grab slam, so maybe try to keep track of it, but there's not much you can do right there.
Just got it though too with that kill before, so keeping track of that is near impossible.
Nelson was also one off his War Machine as well, so units did a good job of building up their specialists. You don't see that too often in Search and Destroy, but wow, take a look at those stats.
And of course, Joe being so annoying for Envy this entire series, always behind them, always in their spawn, always causing trouble for them, coming up big a few times for units. And really, I mean, it felt like, at least on the side of Envy, the control looked good and everything else was like, you kind of got lucky, it was really close.
To go on with what Pac-Man said before the series even started, they were playing 3 maps that they have never won. That first map, Gridlock, they won by 1 point. The last 2 maps he said was Hardpoint Frequency and Frequency S&D. They lost both of those maps. Those are still 2 maps that they haven't have a single win on. That first map was honestly insane. Cammy had a really great spawn that he was able to spawn back underpass, keep his team alive, and pick up a 5-piece. Then it rotated to that last hill. That was a big 2-piece out of Assault to get that 2-piece out of the window. That forced Decimate to be able to flank that front side and pick up that 2-piece and get that War Machine.
Now take a look at this map 1, how it came down to the wire. Again, 250 to 249.
This map was insanity. I mean, it was really just a story of different players having their time on the map. In the beginning, it was Gunless. It was all him dominating. Assault started to pick it up on that second rotation, and Envy built themselves a decent lead. But Weeman was like 11 and 17, picks up streaks on P3, and then he uses them on mid hill to get combo broken in mid, and then that's kind of where they came back into the game. And the last few hills were just an absolute frenzy. I'm not sure they even knew what was going on here, where they were trying to break on in.
I mean, it's got to be so hard too, especially, I think Merc and Maven touched on this, to be a team like Envy that has such a small pool of maps that you are good in, because then you can have units come in and be able to capitalize on the fact that you're not going to be able to have a good map for them every single round.
The issue is just their Search and Destroy. Yeah. They lost 2. That's what Envy needed to be good at. Like, even when Envy was in their drought where they were just not winning a single map, like, they were having close hardpoints with some of the top teams in the game. So, you know, one little tweak in hardpoint and you can close it out, which, you know, we saw them win that game 1. They can have a close hardpoint, but if you're not winning a search and destroy, you're not going to win series. Point blank, period.
In both of those S&D maps, they played one round in that series. Just, they plant the bomb and they give it completely up. Joe was just gonna hop that bomb immediately, getting that first kill. They had all the information. I just don't understand, when you have all that map control, why do you decide to back up in that situation and get
Well, first time they got, well, on both Hossie and Frequency when that happens, they give up initial kills and they feel like, all right, now we can't fight from this area because we can't watch everything. But instead they give it up, and a lot of stuff that doesn't show up on stat pages, Joe instantly hop bombs in both those situations, instantly. So Envy has to make the play quick, and they're really not a fast team in general, and in those spots they don't move fast enough to recover.
I mean, oftentimes you see Envy start a round, right? And this is where we get frustrated watching. We see them start a round, they'll push the site, right? It'll be a trade process, and even if it's like a 3v3 or a 2v2, they try to wrap back and like play slow. Like, that wrapping can work at times, but you can't consistently do that. Otherwise, people are gonna pick up on it and they're gonna cut you off. And that's just an issue Envy's had since the beginning.
They also weren't picking up on water flanks. I know the first time it didn't have that much of an effect, but they knew Rated came around water on Hacienda. And he came around the water. And then in the other round, he did it again, but it had a massive impact on the map. And it was a free round. And I'm wondering why Envy's not picking up on water flanks. It's late in the game now. You see a lot of teams do it. Every single time you see Optic in there, Crim's always in the water. There's a lot of players, General always in the water, and Envy wasn't picking up on that.
It happened on Frequency as well. We saw them try to push that A site, and Aches was trying to hold the flank from inside of their window, but there's just too many angles to hold from window. You almost have to do a tight setup and play from you or play a corner outside of your orange. But yeah, the flank was a big issue for them as well.
Now let's look at our bracket, because a few of our series are now done. Units moving on. You can see they will be going up against Sicario Gaming, who took down Singularity 3-1 as they move on as well. Of course, a few more games to get through for the day, but again, we'll see how Sicario can face up against Units. Here's our schedule, of course. Splice and Evil Geniuses, our next main stage match, sure to be cutthroat. Both of these teams looking very, very strong coming into bracket play. But there you have it, folks. Our first main stage match is done. Envy not able to take the Game 5 round 11, although we weren't surprised to see them there. Units, of course, taking that win 3-2. But coming back, we have Splice and Evil Geniuses on the main stage.